Have you ever noticed that the wealthiest people you see in real life almost never look wealthy? No flashy logos, no loud colors, no chains dripping off their neck, no convoy of exotic cars parked outside a mansion. Meanwhile, the people trying the hardest to look rich are usually drowning in debt just to keep up the appearance. One missed payment away from losing everything they are showing off. This is not a coincidence. It is a pattern that repeats across every generation of truly old money, in every country, in every culture. Today we are going to break down why real wealth is quiet, why the richest families on earth dress like everyone else, and what their minimal wealth signals actually say about how money really works behind closed doors. Stay till the end because the final point might completely change how you see luxury forever. The illusion of looking rich somewhere along the way, society decided that looking expensive equals being wealthy. Big logos, flashy cars, and designer everything became the visual shortcut for success, a signal we were trained to read instantly without ever questioning it. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people who look extremely rich are actually spending money they do not have, financing a lifestyle they cannot afford, just to be perceived a certain way by people who barely remember their names. Old money families figured this out generations ago and quietly walked away from the game entirely. They realized that impressing strangers is expensive and pointless, while building actual wealth requires the opposite mindset completely, one built on patience rather than performance. What old money actually looks like old money does not shout, it whispers. Think plain t-shirts, simple watches, worn in leather shoes, and cars that are 10 years old but perfectly maintained, still running exactly the way they did the day they were bought. There are no logos on display, no unnecessary flexing, nothing designed to prove a point to people they will never see again. This is not because old money families cannot afford luxury. It is because they have nothing left to prove. Their wealth is established, generational, and quiet, and they simply do not feel the need to broadcast it to strangers on the street, at a restaurant, or even at a family gathering. Why wealth signals are minimal. The wealthiest families understand something most people never learn. Real power does not need to announce itself. When you already have security, status, and access, you stop needing external validation from people you barely know. This is why old money often blends in rather than stands out, choosing to fade into a crowd rather than command attention within it. Their homes might be modest from the outside while holding incredible value inside, tucked behind quiet gates instead of towering over the street. Their clothing is simple, but extremely high quality, built to last decades instead of trending for a single season. Every choice is functional and intentional, never performative, because performing wealth is something only new money feels pressured to do. New money versus old money mindset. New money often comes from a sudden windfall, a big business exit, a lottery win, or rapid success. And the instinct is to celebrate visibly after years of struggle finally paying off. There is nothing wrong with this instinct. It is natural and completely human, but it often leads to spending patterns that erode wealth quickly if left unchecked. Old money, on the other hand, grew up watching wealth being protected, not displayed, learning from a young age that money conversations happen behind closed doors, not on social media. They were taught that money is a tool for security and generational planning, not a scoreboard to show off in public. This difference in mindset explains almost everything about how these two groups behave financially over time, and why one tends to last far longer than the other. It is not unusual for new money to disappear within a single generation, while old money quietly survives world wars. recessions, and family disputes simply because it was never dependent on outside approval in the first place. The psychology behind quiet wealth there is a fascinating psychological reason behind minimal wealth signals. When people already feel secure in their identity and status, they stop needing external objects to prove it to anyone, including themselves. Confidence replaces decoration. This is why truly successful people often seem almost unremarkable at first glance, until you learn what they actually own or control behind the scenes. Their self-worth is not tied to what they wear or drive. It is tied to their values, relationships, and long-term vision, which cannot be seen from the outside at all, no matter how closely you look. The real cost of visible luxury, every flashy purchase, comes with a hidden cost beyond the price tag. It comes with maintenance, depreciation, social pressure to keep upgrading, and the psychological trap of needing to maintain an image once it has been created in front of others. People who spend heavily on visible luxury often find themselves working harder just to fund appearances rather than build actual net worth, trapped on a treadmill that never truly stops. Meanwhile, old money families are investing quietly in assets that grow in value, assets that nobody sees on the surface, but that compound steadily behind the scenes for decades, far away from any public attention. Think about that for a moment. The person with the loudest car outside a restaurant might be the one closest to financial trouble, while the person parked quietly in an ordinary sedan could be worth more than everyone else in the building combined. How simplicity protects wealth living simply is not just a personal preference for old money families. It is a wealth protection strategy passed down deliberately from one generation to the next. Lower spending means more capital available for investing. Fewer status purchases mean fewer liabilities weighing down a balance sheet, and fewer surprises when the unexpected happens. By avoiding the constant pressure to keep up appearances, these families free up enormous amounts of money that would otherwise be wasted trying to impress people who genuinely do not matter to their long-term goals. Simplicity becomes a quiet advantage that compounds year after year, invisible to outsiders, but incredibly powerful over decades. Education over exhibition. Old money families often invest more in education, knowledge, and financial literacy than in physical possessions, treating information itself as the ultimate form of inheritance. Children raised in these environments learn about investing, taxes, and asset protection long before they learn to care about brand names or trends. This creates a generational advantage that has nothing to do with luck and everything to do with mindset transfer. While other families pass down material possessions that lose value over time, old money families pass down financial wisdom that only grows more valuable with each passing generation, compounding just like the assets it helps protect. Lessons anyone can apply today. You do not need generational wealth to adopt this mindset starting today. Stop spending to impress people who will forget what you wore within minutes of seeing you. Redirect that energy and money into learning, investing, and building real assets instead of temporary impressions. Choose quality over logos, function over flash, and long-term security over short-term impressions that fade the moment you walk away. The habits of old money are available to anyone willing to shift their priorities. And the earlier you start thinking this way, the sooner you begin building wealth that actually lasts, instead of wealth that only appears to exist on the surface. Why this mindset shift matters most at the end of the day: wealth is not about what people see. It is about what actually sits quietly in your accounts, your investments, and your assets. The people who understand this stop performing and start building. They measure success by freedom and security, not by attention or applause from strangers. Once you internalize this simple truth, the entire game of money changes completely. And you start making decisions based on long-term value instead of short-term image, which is exactly how old money has operated for generations. If this video changed the way you think about wealth and appearances, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. Drop a comment below telling me which wealth signal surprised you the most. Share this with someone who is still chasing appearances instead of building actual wealth. It might be exactly the reminder they need today. If you enjoyed this breakdown, let me know in the comments which topic you want covered next, because your suggestions genuinely shape what gets made on this channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay quiet, stay patient, and let your money do the talking.